Okay, so what I did is I went through and I drew in each coordinate. Okay, and at this point, what they want to know is the area. So we're going to use the formula area equals 1/2 base times height. And what you would do here, and I was fortunate enough to have a really tidy copy of this, but you would get the base and the height from here. So I'll just start like with the base would be across here. So you'll count over, you're starting here on the 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4 over. Okay. So I'm going to make that the 4. Oh, actually it should be 6. Yeah, my picture is really off. So I'm just going to give it to you. Okay. The answer is the base. The height is 10 and the base is 6. So I'm going to go 6 times 10. Ooh, that's messy. Okay. So I have 1/2 base times height. All right, super messy, I know. Probably shouldn't be using a pen. All right, so no problem there. We're just going to start multiplying. So I've got 6 times 10 is 60, and I'm going to multiply that by 1/2. Now, if I'm multiplying by a fraction, I'm going to go ahead, give myself a little denominator because it helps me see. And from here, I'll simplify. 2 goes into itself once and into 60 30 times, which ends up being 30. And that's your area. Okay, number 21. Number 24 was a little more complicated, okay? And what they did is they're giving you a triangle with some information, okay? So I know out here it says 18 yards. I know that they've drawn the hypotenuse, and this is 12 yards. 90-degree angle, and then we've got 24 yards here. Well, I wrote that in. I don't think they give it to us. And then this whole thing is 36 yards. All right. So what they want is the area of the triangle, and I'm just going to use the quadratic formula, the a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, because we have the c, we know what that is. So when I plug that in, hang on a second. Oh, okay. I'm only going to deal with this side. So I'm going to make this 18 squared, okay? And then I know the other side of just this that I'm highlighting is 12 squared. So I'm just going to make a my unknown, okay? So when I start squaring these off, I'm going to, I can start squaring these, but they're going to get really big. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it over. A squared equals, and this will be 18 squared minus 12 squared. So let's go 18 squared minus 12 squared. I'll just move them over. When I square the a, it becomes a. Okay, and I can just start plugging these numbers in. So 18 squared is 324 minus 144. And a is going to equal 180. Okay, so that's actually the square root of 180. We can break that down with a factor tree. I'm going to go 18 and 10. This will be 2 and 9. 3 and 3. So I'm just going to get all the prime numbers in, and then of course 2 and 5. Okay, so let me simplify inside here. I've got 2 twice, so I've got 2 squared, times 3 twice, which is 3 squared, and then I have a 5. Now, the rule, and I'm not even sure if you've learned this yet, but the rule of the square root says that if anything inside is squared, I can move it out. So I can move the 2 out, and I can move that 3 out. So that will look like 2 times 3, and the only thing that's left is the 5. So of course 2 times 3 is 6, square root of 5. Okay, so that tells us what our side is. So I've got one side. All right, so with that, I'm going to move over here. And now I'm going to find the area because I have all my information. So from area, I'm going to go 1/2 base times height. And actually, I guess that's hypotenuse. So area equals 1/2. And I'm going to use the 36 yards for my base times the height, the other side, which is the 6. And 5. Okay, yes, perfect. Okay, so I can take this, and I've got 1/2 of it. I can go ahead and just do 1/2 times 36 over 1. I'm going to cancel the 2, and it goes into 36 18 times. All right, so I'll move this, all of this becomes 18. And then I'm going to multiply that times 6 square root of 5. From here, all I have to do is distribute. 18 times 6 is 108, and then I just move the square root over, and that is the area. And 5,000 years later, you have your answer for number 24. I know, what a beating. All right, so that's 21 and 24. Okay, number 27. They are giving you a triangle. They're saying we're giving you a triangle, and it has sides 40, 90, and 41. Okay. Oops, let me fix that for you. So they want the area. And what we're going to do, oh no, I'm sorry. This is on this one, they want to know what type of triangle it is. So again, I'm going to throw that quadratic formula out. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So if these sides match, then we have a right angle. Okay. So I'm going to make 41 my C squared because it's the biggest number. Okay. And then I'll just plug these other two in. It really doesn't matter which is which. All right, so if I have 40 squared, 40 times 40 will be 1,600, plus 9 squared is 81, and that's equal to 41 squared, 1,681. And then I add these together, and they match. So your answer is right. Okay? It's a right triangle. All right. Number 30. Okay, this one was a little crazy. Let me try to draw it. It was kind of like this, like this. Okay, so basically they have two triangles in one, right? This really should be dashed. Sorry about that. Okay, so we do know this is 90, and we know this is 90. We know that this is 60 degrees. This side is 15 centimeters. This was labeled C. This is labeled 45 degrees. This side is A. And then the inside is B. Okay, so what we can do is assume that this is 30, so it's 30, 60, 90. And then if one side is 45, you can pretty much guarantee that this side is 45. Sorry. So 45, 45, and then I went 30, 60, 90. So we have two different triangles, different angles. So we're going to go ahead and try to figure out what A and C are. Now I'm going to start with a 30, 60. Okay, so this one's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. And I'm just going to break it down because, you know, I always have to write it out because I'm a dork. So there's my 90. And then here's my 60 and here's my 30. And you remember we watched that YouTube video of the girl who kind of gave us the x and the 2x and the x square root of 3. So I'm going to, this one's 15 centimeters. I'm going to kind of plug those in. So across from the 90 degrees, she said it was always the 2x, right? Across from the 30 is always the x. And that leaves the x square root of 3 here. Okay, so I'm going to use those to kind of figure out what we know and what we don't know. So fortunately, we do know that x equals 15. So that's nice. So that means on this outside, which is b, we can figure that out pretty easily. So we can know that b equals 2x, right? So that equals 2 times 15, which equals 30. Okay, so there's the answer for B. And I can plug it in right here and I'll have it for my next triangle, okay? But I still need A. So A is equal to x square root of 3. So I know that x is 15 square root of 3, and I can't simplify that much more. So that, my friend, is your answer for A. Now, let's come over here and we're going to deal with 45, 45, and 90 degree angle. So this one works a little different. If we want what is basically C, okay, we want to get a side, right? We want like the second leg of the triangle. So to solve C, I'm going to use the formula where we take one leg and we use it times the square root of 2, okay? So the formula that we're using will tell us that the hypotenuse divided by the square root of 2 will give us a side, okay? So that's going to be equal to L, so we want that leg. So I can take, in order to simplify this, I can take square root of 2 over square root of 2, okay, multiply straight across. So I've got 30 square root of 2. And then square root of 2 times square root of 2 are going to come out with 2. At this point, I can also simplify this because 2 goes into itself 1 time and into 30 15 times, okay? At this point, pretty much done. So C, side C, is going to be equal to 15 square root of 2. And you've got ABC. All right. Number 33. Okay. Now, in this scenario, they say we're going to give you a square, okay? And they tell you the diameter of it, okay? So straight across we know is 8 centimeters. They tell you that one side is 45, okay? And we know that it's going to be 45 degrees all our way around because it is a square and it's all the same. So it's going to be 45, 45. So I'm going to treat it like a 45, 45, 90 degree triangle, okay? On one side, now I have this written, so kind of check your book because I can't flip over or my video will stop. So I have 4 square root of 2. I may be throwing that up too. Yeah, I threw it up too early. Okay, so let me go back. So what they want is the perimeter, and they want the area for these, for this square, based on what we know with the triangle. All right, so again, I know if I only know what one side of my triangle is, I have my hypotenuse, right? I can take that and I can divide by square root of 2. Remember square root of 2 because of the 45-degree angle. All right, I get rid of that square root and simplify it a little bit by radicalizing and multiplying by square root of 2. At this point, we multiply straight across, and I end up with 8 square root of 2 over 2. Square root, positive number. I can simplify again, 2 into itself once, into 8 4 times, okay? And so I know, and here, there we go, here I know that my side is 4 square root of 2. They're all going to be the same, right? So we solved for L, or the leg, so that's part of your answer, but it's not what she's asking for. Now from here, I'm going to find the perimeter. Now perimeter is super easy because basically it's 4s, right? It's 4 times s. So what we have to do is just take perimeter equals 4 times the 4 square root of 2. So I'm just going to multiply it 4 times and get my perimeter. And 4 times 4 equals 16 square root of 2. Perimeter equals 16 square root of 2. Now for the area equals 1. Okay, no, I went with a different one. Okay, so area equals, it's like length times width, right? So I'm just going to take area equals the side squared. So I'm going to take the 4 square root of 2 and I'm just going to multiply it by 2. Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to take the square of it. So 4 squared equals 16. Okay. And then this would be 2 squared times 2 squared. Remember up here, we said that that would equal a 2. So I'm going to take 16 and multiply it by 2. Make sure you can see that. And that equals 32. And then we're going to label it centimeters squared. Okay. So you might just say like area equals, okay, 33 is complete. We're almost done. So let me jump over to 36. All right, now this one, I'm kind of stupid. They're asking you about something called a dodecahedron. I'm probably saying that wrong, but I had to look it up. It's 12-sided, okay? And so what I know is that it has 12 sides and it's 360 degrees. Okay, I do know that because I looked it up. So what they want to know is if I draw this thing, you know, all 12 of them, whatever, they want to know what each angle is. So I've got 1, 2, think of it kind of like a pizza, but it's, you know, like this, and I'm not going to draw it right. They want to know what each angle, what degree of angle each one is. So there's 12 of them. So I am just going to take 360 degrees and divide it by the 12 sides. And that gives you 30 degrees each. Done. Number 39. And I thought about writing this problem off because it seemed kind of crazy to me, but then I wanted to make sure you had it in case you need it for your test. All right, so in number 39, they're using an octagon, which of course is 8 sides. And we're still dealing with 360 degrees, which means if I divide 360 by 8, I get 45 degrees for each angle, okay? Now, what they want, they have given us the fact that we know the area is 122 meters squared. Okay, and they've told us that the sides are 5 meters each. Okay, so what they're asking for is some kind of, it's the height. I think what it is if you take it's like an octave, it's like whatever the 8 is, they want to know how long each of these is. Okay, and so they want to know the height and of this, whatever word it is. It's like, I had to look it up too. You can see it in your book though. I'm just going to show you how to find it. So to find this A word, I need to have 1/2 times, oh no, I'm going to take the area, sorry, and I need 1/2 times whatever this A word is, times the sides, times how many angles there are. Okay? And the area is 120, so I'm going to plug that in. Okay, then I've got 1/2 A. Okay, the sides we know were 5, and there are 8 angles. So now I'm just going to take all of that, start plugging it in. I've got 120 equals 1/2 A times 40. 5 times 8 is 40. From here, I'm going to multiply 1/2 and 40. Okay, so that would look like 1/2 times 40 over 1. And we simplify. That goes in once, that goes in 20. I've got 120 equals 1/2. Oh, actually, my bad. 120 equals 20A, right? Because I got rid of my half and I got rid of my 40 by multiplying them, and they become 20A. Now this is pretty simple algebra here. In order to solve for A, I'm just going to divide by 20. I need to get the A by itself. 6 equals whatever that bloody word was. Okay? Oh, and it'll be 6 meters. All right, that's 39. Are you excited? Okay, almost done. Last one is number 41. Okay, now on this one, they're going to use a hexagon. Okay, we know that one has 6 sides. And they tell us that each side is 44. And they want us to find the area. So, basically I followed the book in this. So instead of just finding area, we're finding 6 times the area because it has the 6 sides, okay? And we are going to say 6 times square root of 3 over 4, and we're going to take that times s squared. Right. So, and I love to know where this stuff comes from. I'm not sure which formula this is because of the hexagon thing. So if you have an opportunity, we can ask, but just in case you need it for next week, but we can check next week on it. Okay, so the sides were equal to 44. Okay, so I've got 6 square root of 3 over 4 times 44 squared. 44 squared is 1,936. Okay, so that's solved. Now I've got this 6 and 3/4, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that as well. Simplify it as much as possible. I'm going to take 4 and 6. 2 goes into 4 twice and into 6 3 times. Okay, so that's going to give us 3 square root of 3 all over 2. Okay. Now I'm still multiplying that by the 44 squared. So I'm going to, once again, just set this up like a fraction, and I'm going to simplify as much as possible. So 2 will go into itself once, and it'll go into 986 times. All right, our bottoms are done. Now I'm just going to multiply straight across. I've got 3 times 986, which I've already calculated is 2,904. And then so that takes care of these numbers. I just have to move that square root over. Square root of 3, and that is your answer. And you're done. You're done for the week. And I wanted to make sure that you could knock it out today in case I didn't get back in time with my girls. And so if you need anything, let me know. You can still get ahead for next week by completing the Romeo and Juliet scenes 4 and 5 visuals, but honestly, I think you can wait. So have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.